Lads, lasses, and the rest of the masses, welcome back to another episode of The Grayscale, the series in which we weigh up the last Chelsea game and put things on a scale from good to medium to bad. And then, of course, at the end, we'll vote for our grade in the comments. I think that this one is going to be a pretty simple one for me to do because it's very similar to the last one, in all honesty. A lot of the points which I'm going to be talking about today are very similar to things which I've spoken about in previous rounds of this competition. I think that, for the most part, some of the things that I've kind of been saying have happened in recent games have happened again. And this was a very comfortable 2-0 victory for Chelsea against Fluminense. We obviously have the final coming up on Sunday, but for now we'll look at this game and kind of take away some kind of things from that. I think the first thing we need to focus on is the platform that we were given in order to be able to kind of progress forward and actually play good attacking football, and that all starts with the solidity of the back line of our defence. And though I'm going to talk about all three of them here, the three centre backs that we had playing in that game, I'm going to focus on one man in particular, and that's Marc Cucurella. Now, he had a very, very good performance. He made quite a lot of kind of, vital defensive contributions, which is not the thing we kind of particularly think about him when it comes to Cucurella. We're always talking about how he gets forward and how he gets into weird attacking positions. He's a nuisance, but last match was a very good display of defensive capability that he does have, which I think goes overlooked a little bit for the majority of the time. Now I'm going to roll off some stats here from him because these are just kind of nuts. He has one clearance off the line, and it was a fantastic clearance off the line, stopping a goal. And I do want to point out here is that I think a lot of people won't kind of give Sanchez credit for what his involvement in this clearance off the line too. He takes all the pace off of the shot for him to be able to get back and get this, but I don't think he's gonna ever get the credit for that. He has one blocked shot, one interception, two tackles. He had 87% accurate passing with 53 out of 61. He has one key pass. He has one accurate long ball out of three. He won 3 of his ground duels out of 4. He won 4 of his aerial duels out of 4. So 100% win rate there. And yeah, just in general, just a really, really good defensive performance from him, which is something we're not often, I said, was not something that we kind of often attribute towards him. Now, I do want to talk about the other two as well, Tosin and Chalobah. We'll start with Chalobah because he, again, had a really, really good performance. He has 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions, 60 touches of the ball with 54 out of 54 accurate passes, so 100% completion, didn't put a single pass wrong. He had 1 accurate long ball, obviously. He has 2 out of his 4 aerial duels were won. And yeah, again, very solid defensive performance from him. Tosin, again, another one who had a very solid performance. He has 5 clearances in this game, 1 interception, 1 tackle, 96 touches of the ball, which is quite common if he's going to be as the kind of central centre-back. And with that, he has a 93% passing percentage completion, which is great. 82 out of 88 passes there. 1 key pass and 3 long balls out of 4 accurate. He won 1 out of his 2 ground duels. He won 1 out of his 1 aerial duel. And again, yeah, just really solid from all of them, genuinely. Like, they hardly ever lost the ball. It gave us that, as I said before, that platform to build off of and then go forward. And speaking of going forward, let's move into one of the other players which I'm going to be talking about here. And I feel like I put him in the box every single week at this point, is Pedro. He again had a really, really, really solid performance. And even though he doesn't get a goal or an assist or a goal contribution or what have you to kind of, earmark this performance, he had Guga on absolute ropes the entire game. He was completely fooling him. And we saw a lot of the kind of, things that we expected from him when we first bought him, but haven't really seen up until this Club World Cup. It's that ability to beat a man, ability to just, again, go one way, go the other, and completely fool their player. And he could have had an assist or two if it was not for some really good saves from Fabio and some decent defensive work in there from Thiago Silva and things like that. But yeah, he, again, another just a really solid performance from him. I can't really talk too much about it, considering it's more of a thing you have to kind of watch yourself than actually talk about it in terms of stats. But yeah, he had a very, very solid performance. Likewise, I'm going to bring in another player who I think this is wild for me to be putting him in here for, I think, maybe the 2nd time in a row, maybe 3rd time in a row. It's Christopher Nkunku. Like I said with Neto, he doesn't get a goal or assist here, but his attacking performance today was really, really good. And the thing which I really want to earmark for him and kind of talk about specifically for him is that we saw the things from Nkunku that we always kind of blame him for, and we always kind of say are his negatives, right? The lack of a press, the not ability to not get back. You know, he's very in recent times he's always been that kind of player that we always attribute to being quite lazy. He doesn't put the work in, he doesn't put the effort in. He made a really good effort today, not only in his offensive work, and I think he was very good at linking up with his teammates, whether he was playing on the left side or the right side where he started. Which was interesting to see that from Maresca, to see him starting on the right side. I think that worked pretty well with him kind of linking up with Malo Gusto, another player who's had a resurgent run, and I'm not going to be talking about today, but again, another good performer in this game. But not only, as I said, not only that kind of offensive contribution, and again, he was denied an absolute certain goal by Thiago Silva with a clearance off the line. It's the ability for him to get back and, again, tracking back, working hard. Not only that, but working hard in the press and the forward when we're trying to press forwardly, because that's one of our main kind of threats in this team, is that forward press. And when we don't do it perfectly, or one player's not picking up the slack, it usually leads us to just getting played around and then getting opportunities against us. But he was vital for us to kind of press forward and stop them from being able to have comfortable possession, and then eventually win the ball back after they spill a long ball or what have you. But yeah, again, his interplay with his teammates today, and that extra effort he put in, is why I've kind of highlighted him specifically, because I think that's something we don't really usually see from him, and it's good to congratulate players when they start putting in the effort like that. Next up, it's going to be a joint point for our duo in midfield. Obviously, Moises Caicedo, because he was phenomenal as ever. But I'm also going to be giving a little bit of a shout out to Enzo Fernandez today as well, because I think that despite him having a bit of a shaky first half, and I would admit, I kind of omitted on my watch along, I think that he was getting into really good positions and getting on the ball and things, but his final ball wasn't quite there in the first half. He really cleaned that up in the second half, and he produced a very good assist for Joao Pedro in the second half, and he now actually goes up to the top assister in the competition with 3. So very good for him to be able to continue to get those goal contributions. That's something we kind of wanted to see from him for a long time and never really got to see, but now under Enzo Maresca, he's really proven himself as not only a goal scorer but a provider for his teammates. I think defensively he was pretty decent too, obviously tracking back and trying to win things. But whenever we talk about defenders, we've got to talk about Caicedo. Like, again, the line's coming out again, so you guys can follow along with me when I say this, but I've run out of superlatives for Caicedo. I don't know what to say about him anymore. I have to put him in the box every single week because he's our best performer pretty much every single week, and he's consistently giving us 10 out of 10 performances or 11 out of 10 performances, even when he's getting his knee inverted on the pitch, or in this case, in this game, having his ankle completely thrown out of whack. He's the absolute Iron Man. He's the man of steel, and he gets back on the pitch like it's nothing's happened. And genuinely, it seems, considering his social media post, that he will be playing on Sunday, which is crazy to me because, again, the roll of the ankle is absolutely horrific looking at it on the replay. But again, just a really solid performance from him, constantly being the one that leads that press in midfield, makes them uncomfortable, stops them from being able to, play it around and kind of have that comfortable possession. And that really kind of set us up for our game plan, which was very clearly to unsettle them on the ball, force them to go long, and then just recycle the ball and win those aerial duels. And it's something that we've been doing quite often in this tournament, and it's something that's kind of attributed to this new system that Enzo Maresca is playing, is that our forward press, and then again obviously our counter press if the original forward press doesn't work, it really limits what our opponents can do, and it plays into our hands very well because Tosin or Levi Colwill or Chalobah, whoever is playing, Badio Shield as well when he's not injured, whoever is playing in that centre back role, they are very comfortable with what actually comes at them, because the majority of the stuff which does come at us is, balls over the top, which they can deal with very comfortably. The only kind of time we've ever seen a team do well against this system was the Flamengo game, and that's because they managed to actually pass the ball around really well on the floor because our press wasn't as quick as it probably should have been, and we weren't, really fully up to speed at that point. But no, Caicedo just, again, he makes that whole style possible by being everywhere all at once and stopping them from having comfortable possession and being able to play it around. So kudos to him. Again, another stellar performance from him. And the thing which I feel like he doesn't really get kind of credited for as well is not only the fact that he wins the ball back so much and he's so tenacious, but the fact that he usually, when he wins the ball back, is able to kind of play it forward and get us going as well. And that kind of transition between between defence and attack is something he's so good at doing. And again, gets us on our way and gets us to scoring goals. Speaking of scoring goals, I would be remiss if I did not mention our goal scorer, our brace scorer, Joao Pedro, with an absolutely phenomenal first start and a full debut, because this was, again, just a masterclass of forward play. I'm not even going to talk about just his goals, because, again, if both of his goals absolute rockets, phenomenal finishes for both of them from similar positions. The first one, obviously, good work from Pedro Neto down the left-hand side, gets the ball across, it's cleared straight out to Joao Pedro, he puts it onto his right foot and bends it into the far corner. And for his first ever goal for Chelsea, and I said this on the watch long, I can't think of a player in recent memory anyway that has had a debut with 2 goals as clean and as like genuinely perfect as these 2 goals. Like I can't think of one off the top of my head. If you can think of one, leave it down in the comments. But genuinely, the first one, again, it comes out to him, it's bended into the far corner, absolutely no chance for Fabio, no chance for any of the defenders to get near it. He obviously doesn't celebrate because it's against his former club and the club that gave him a chance in the first place, which is good to see that kind of respect that he's got for the club and, in general, that attitude. But it's not just the 2 goals, and again, the second one, again, a phenomenal, just a phenomenal absolute thunderblast from the inside, just inside the box to hit the underside of the crossbar and go in. Again, no chance for Fabio, no chance for any of the defenders. It's a pure strike and a pure finish. But it's his forward play, is his hold-up play, his ability to get his teammates into the game that makes me so just shocked at how good he is, because we didn't really expect him to be a player that we kind of brought in. I think he was quite out of the blue as a signing, but he has taken to this Chelsea team like a duck to water. Genuinely, he has gotten in with 2 days after his holiday. He's played in the game, and he's been doing so well that he's completely thrown Nicholas Jackson out of the pecking order. And I would be very surprised if Liam Delap or Jackson start over him in the final on Sunday. I think he's an absolute shoo-in to start there. And it's the thing which really kind of shows his all-encompassing forward play for me is the actual build-up to his first goal is all him. It's him being able to hold up the ball and then play in Pedro Neto that gets him up against Guga and then gets the ball in that eventually ricochets back out for Pedro to get his goal. And if he keeps playing this way and he's able to, again, because this is so vital for our system, being able to play it into the midfield, outnumber the midfield, and then get it around the corner and get attacking opportunities from there. If he's able to continue doing this throughout the season, and not just in the Premier League, but in the Cups and obviously in the Champions League, I think we're going to go very far if he keeps this form up. I said in my watch long before the game, we kind of still, he's had a very good, impressive debut, but he'd need to prove himself as a goal scorer, and he's really done that in this game. And it's really good to see a striker that in general just hits the ball well and has a good finish on him, because we haven't had that for a while, and it's always been the problem with Chelsea in our recent years is that we create a lot of chances but just do not finish them. But now we've got a pure finisher in the team, and hopefully he can continue to score goals in Chelsea Blue. Now, before I move on to the final point, I've got one little point left, and this is going to be a short one, but I'm actually going to be giving a good, and this is crazy because you guys know how much I hate these guys. I'm going to be giving a good to the referees, though I don't think the overall refereeing performance was particularly great. It wasn't particularly bad, it wasn't particularly good, I think it was quite average. The one major decision that needed to be made was the penalty decision when it came off of Trevor Chalobah's arm in the box. And for the first time in this competition, we've seen some actual competent refereeing in the fact that they've seen it, they've gone, nope, the arm's in a natural position, this is not a foul. And considering we've had multiple of these handball decisions in this competition, some have gone against us, like the one in the ES2 Nice game went against us, I believe. We've had others that have gone against us in the fact that we've had handballs against us that haven't been given, that I think were even more egregious than some of the ones that were given against us. It's good to see finally, all the way in the semi-finals of this competition, that they've actually fixed their kind of ruling on that, and they've actually decided, you know what, no, his arm is by his side, it's in a natural position, it's not a handball. So I did want to give a little shout out to the referee there, because I think it's a brave decision to make, to have to explain to a crowd of thousands and thousands of people at the MetLife that, oh, I'm not giving your team a penalty. It's very brave to do, so hats off to him. He should probably be just not giving it in the first place, to be honest, but from the ref cam it did look like his vision was a little bit obscured. So apart from that, really good from the ref in that regard. And the final point I'm going to be talking about here, my lucky number 7, is Enzo Maresca. I spoke about this a little bit before, but this new system he's employing, the kind of 2-2-4-2, has really, really managed to get every single one of these players, even the outcasts, like I spoke about before with Nkunku and Gusto, playing so well. Every single player kind of knows what they're doing. Every single player is in a role that suits them. They're not being kind of shoehorned into positions that don't really work. It seems that he's really, really adapted the original system to kind of work with the players and the profiles that he now has. It seemed like last season he had, or this kind of season coming on, he had laid that foundation of what he wanted to see, and now we've moved into this kind of half season, or the end of last season, start of this season. He's really adapted that into a position that kind of allows, for example, Malo Gusto to overlap on the right side. It allows Nkunku to drop deep and play make where he's good in those little pockets and not have to play as high as a striker. It allows Palmer to get on the ball more and be able to orchestrate things. It allows Joao Pedro or Jackson or Liam Delap to kind of drop deep into midfield and facilitate play. It allows Tosin and Chalobah and Badiashile and Levi Colwill to win those aerial duels like I spoke about. It allows Cucurella to play as a defensive monster in that centre-back role, but also get high up the pitch and, be able to overlap and create opportunities that way. It's really brought out the best out of Pedro Neto as an attacker as well, as we've kind of seen. Again, he's the highest rated player in the competition at the moment as of the time we're recording. Again, Enzo being able to get assists from midfield because he's able to kind of have the license to go forward and get things going, because Caicedo has been playing so well as that kind of sweeping lone centre mid at times, and also getting the support from the other midfielder, which he didn't really get last season. Where you kind of left him as the lone player in that kind of 3-1-3-3 so we usually played. Now we're playing in this kind of 3-2 at times when Cucurella drops back. Obviously it's sometimes a 2-2 when he goes forward, but really gives him the support to kind of, do his defensive work and then be able to pass the ball to someone else in the midfield. And that's the thing which I think is really important, is the way that obviously our team has always been designed to play out of presses and play through pressure and be able to get us going forward transitionally. And we are able to do that so much better now, because we always have a player next to Caicedo, whether that's Andre Santos coming into the team, or Dario Asugo, or Lavia, who's sometimes there, or Enzo in this kind of the deeper role where he can drop deep but still get forward as like an 8. It allows us now to kind of not only win the ball back, but then progress the ball forward with those quick little intricate passes around and those 1-2s in midfield I spoke about in my last kind of episodes of these. And it just, every single thing seems to suit the team, and we've really kind of proven ourselves as a formidable kind of team now. This is the second final that Enzo Maresca has gotten us into in the space of his tenure, and again, long may it continue. I think that if anyone is doubting Enzo Maresca at this point, it's either blind agenda or just absolute ignorance, and because he has just made this team into a team that actually is feared, and a team that people don't actually want to play against. We're representing England in this tournament as the sole kind of team left in. Obviously City got knocked out, and yeah, and as ever, we kind of have to hold that mantle as a kind of, the one surviving team in England in a major competition. So that's fun. And obviously we'll be going up against PSG, most likely, who are by far the best team on the planet, and it'll be a really good test to see how far we have come to face a team so formidable and see how well we can play against them. Whether we win or lose the competition, I don't think really matters that much, but a win would be an absolute statement of intent. And I think we are capable of doing that. Obviously, it's a funny story, us being the Conference League winners, then being the Champions League winners. If we win, then, maybe it puts a bit more respect on some of the teams that did well against us in that competition. Thinking of Servette, for example. I think that would be quite funny. Hopefully we can get a win in that final on Sunday. Obviously, I will be doing a preview for that on the Saturday at 7 PM usually is when I'll be putting those out. And of course, on Sunday during the final, I'll be doing another live watch along. Please do come if you want to kind of react to the game with us and talk about the lineups and things like that, and obviously celebrate if we do win. It'll be a good time all around. That'll be going live at 7:40 or 20 to 8 on the Sunday, so do come through if you want. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It helps out the channel massively. And if you want to have more content like this in your feed, don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you guys so much for watching as ever. And remember, football can be as simple as black and white.
Something ain't right, I'm drowning in the ocean. I'm still alive, but I feel the fall in my ocean. I lost the fight and floating, but I still try to hide my emotion. Who am I in pieces? I've been broken. It's black and white, but my eyes are fine.